What is going on, my Houston Texans family? With the NFL schedule being released tomorrow, a lot of Texans fans have asked this question. Well, this question is literally on the mind of every single Houston Texans fan once the schedule comes out. How many primetime games will the Houston Texans be in? Now, this is always a fun argument to have when you look at who the Houston Texans are playing, because we know the opponents at home: Indy, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Buffalo, Denver, Las Vegas, Arizona, San Francisco, Tampa Bay. I can see the Bills, Broncos, 49ers, and Buccaneers games being potential primetime matchups at home. Away, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Baltimore Ravens. From the away games, I can see Kansas City, Los Angeles Chargers, and Baltimore Ravens being potential primetime games for the Houston Texans. But for every fan wanting, well, first, let me say this. There's already been a leak. Now, I have no idea whether this is true or not, but there was a graphic posted on Twitter that said week 1, and the Houston Texans, according to this photo, are scheduled to open up the season at home 12 o'clock against the Denver Broncos. Now, I have no idea whether this is true or not. We do know that during this time, when the schedule was being released, there's leaks everywhere. So take that however you want to, but right now it is being leaked, rumored that the Houston Texans open up at home week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. But going back to what I was saying, for every fan that is wanting these primetime games, there are the fans that are saying this team does not deserve to be in primetime the way they ended the season, the way they performed in those primetime matchups last year. Because the Houston Texans had 5. A Sunday night matchup against the Chicago Bears in week 2. They won that barely. A Thursday night matchup against the New York Jets. They got embarrassed. A Monday night matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. They whooped that ass, showing who was the best in Texas. On Sunday night football, they lost to the Detroit Lions. They were hanging with them, beating them until C.J. Stroud throwing interceptions happened. And then the massacre on Christmas in front of Beyonce against the Baltimore Ravens. I see both sides, guys. I see the side that says, I want primetime games. This Houston Texans team has a franchise quarterback, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL in Derek Stingley, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL when healthy in Nico Collins, a player that is going to be in Defensive Player of the Year conversations in Will Anderson Jr. And now I mentioned C.J. Stroud in the beginning, but I didn't say his name. You got C.J. Stroud. So I could understand why, when you see all that, you want this team to be in prime time. But then, of course, based off of last year, based off how the season ended, I think you add in all the excitement in the offseason leading up to those primetime games. I could understand why fans say, just have us be playing at 12 all 18 weeks. Now, if you are asking me how many primetime games do I see the Houston Texans having? First of all, do I even care? I've never been someone that cares about primetime games. I think they are a luxury. And I think last year, the primetime games that they got, they earned them based off what they did in year 1, plus the offseason with Danielle Hunter, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs. Insane offseason for the Houston Texans. But I've never been one to be upset that we have too few or have too many primetime games. I do think the Houston Texans end up with 3 primetime games at the end of the day. Me and Harley were talking on Bleacher Report, and he brought up the Los Angeles Chargers away game. We know how their season ended in Houston. Justin Herbert, 4 INTs. They had a good offseason. They had a good draft. Maybe, and the game's away. It's in LA. I could see that being a potential scenario where the Houston Texans are in prime time. The other one, the matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, and this is what Harley also brought up. The storyline of D'Amico Ryans going up against his former mentor and Kyle Shanahan. I absolutely love that matchup. And at home, I think you have an opportunity to be in prime time against the Buffalo Bills. Why I think this Buffalo Bills matchup could potentially be on prime time, where the Houston Texans, they beat Buffalo early on in the season. They won it off a game-winning field goal from Kaimi Fairbairn. I believe it was a Week 4 matchup where we saw that big 75-yard touchdown to Nico Collins, and C.J. Stroud does that post. I think that could be a potential primetime game. I mean, just to throw some others out there, of course, Baltimore might have to be there because, it's C.J. Stroud versus Lamar. But as Texans fans, we know that the past couple of seasons, the Baltimore Ravens have had our number. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the schedule is being released tomorrow. Let me know which games you are excited for, which games you think are going to be on primetime. Do the Texans even deserve to be on primetime? But for more Houston Texans content, you guys all know what to do. Feel free to follow me for more. Go Houston. Have a very blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.